Hello there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I will be bringing you a 3 versus 3 31k for Rome Total War. This battle is good from the perspective that it gives us a nice view of a really good combo of 3 particular factions that make a great combo together at taking on Rome, which is, Rome is the dominant faction in 31k games, and these 3 together work very, very well when faced with Rome if the communication and teamwork is good. So in this battle I've taken the Greek cities, and my army consists of 6 units of Cretan archers, and I believe it is 14 units of Spartan hoplites, within the range of gold bronze, if memory serves right. And in the centre here we have IBEROS clansman Tut, and he has got command of Germania. And on the right we have Heaven clansman AdmiralDoucheBag, who's got the Macedonians. Our opponents are Brotherhood member Odin, who's got the Julii, Brotherhood member Conan with one of his interesting formations. He has also got the Julii, and then of course the third player, who is also Julii, who is currently moving, so their formation seems a bit strange, is Brotherhood member Cormac. Now, the reason why this is a great combo is that the Greeks are very, very powerful with their Spartans. They can take on, for instance, you only need say eight Spartans can easily handle about 14 urbans, so you don't need, well, they can hold on against 14 urbans perfectly fine and draw even with them at the very least, so you don't need all your infantry with the Greeks to focus on one player. And this is good for Germania, because Germania cannot go straight head on into a Roman player because it will just get absolutely ripped to pieces by the peeler, and it needs another player to act as an anchor for them and go in ahead of them, and then it goes in and uses its berserkers and its war cries and that sort of thing to get a nice chain route. So this is where the Greeks work really well, and what you'll see I've done here is I've broken my army into 2 groups. This group's going to fight on the left wing against Cormac mostly, and this little group here is going to fight in the centre against Conan and maybe a little bit against Odin, which should enable Tut to stay in the back and then charge in at an opportune moment. So it works very well. But of course, when you're playing with the Germans, you have to bring archers, because other people will almost always bring archers to counter them because they are hugely vulnerable. A German player has to rely extremely heavily on his allies. You cannot do singular action with Germania. It's pointless. It will not work. You have to rely on your allies, because they are protecting you, because you've got some serious weaknesses, but you've got some pretty powerful gifts if you can use them properly as Germania. So if we look at Tut's army, I'll unpause now. He's got, looks like 1 chosen archer warband just to support himself with archers. He's got 8 units of chosen axemen, 2 knight raiders, 3 units of berserkers, and I believe it is 5 units of gothic cav. For AdmiralDoucheBag, he has got, I believe it is 6 companion cavalry, 3 Cretan archers, and the remainder are royal pikemen. Now, why Macedon is good for this as well is because they can use their pikes to, basically it stops frontal cavalry actions, because people have got pikes and they've got lots of numbers, and they can also bring extra archers, Cretans, which are great to support the Germans, and they've got good shock power cavalry. Now you see, it's the impact of the charge supported by berserkers that can cause mass routing, so the 9 charge of companion cavalry is very good, and although they are not as powerful as Rome with the infantry, because they are pikes, they will not be charged by cavalry, so it's useful in that you can draw cavalry into an area you want them to be in, rather than losing, say, one of your Roman allies here. So I will do most of the hard infantry fighting, which is the plan, because I've got the Greeks, but this battle is going to have an extensive skirmishing phase, because if we check out the armies of particularly Odin has, I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I think he's got 6 units of archers, and then we've got Conan, who's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of archers, and then Cormac has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have got they've got 16 archers. So they're really going for Germania there with their archers. But if they have 16 archers, they'll either have less cavalry, in which case both Conan and Cormac have got only 4 and 3, and Odin's only got... Actually no, Odin's got the Fort Works. So Odin's had to sacrifice infantry, while Conan and Cormac have had to sacrifice cavalry. However, because I'm the Greeks, the cavalry losses are not really that bad, because Greece obviously has nothing in the cavalry department. So to counter their 16 archers, we have 1, 2, 3 from Admiral, 6 from me, and 1 from Tut to 11. So they have a 5 archer advantage, so they do have an archer advantage, but we have an infantry advantage, and this is going to be good because it's going to compensate for this fact that Macedon is a disadvantage against Roman infantry. But what Macedon can do is it can tie down a number of Roman infantry, allowing the Greeks and the Germans to get a critical blow somewhere else, which is generally what we'll be going for in this fight. Now, we're not going to try so much to win the missile duel as we're trying to nullify their archers. They have got 5 less archers than us. However, with Cretans we have a bit of an advantage because Cretans are a little bit better than... They are not a little bit, they're actually quite a bit better than Archer Auxilia, but Archer Auxilia should be able to at least tie with them for the most part. But what I'm going to do in this fight is I'm going to be a wee bit risky here, and I'm going to leave my three of my Cretans as a reserve force. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I suspect they will do the same thing, and I want to have archers for the later game, and I also want to have archers left at the late game when the Germans go in and put fire arrows down to lower enemy morale on the spot where the berserkers and the cav strikes are going to come in, and hopefully they'll still get the mass rout. So what we're going to try and do with our archers is try and do as much damage as possible, and more critically we're going to try and do an attritional act and try and drop their arrow count down, so that by the time it's time for our Germans to go in, they will not have enough arrows left to be really critical. That's generally what we're going for here. So as you can see, Admiral and Tut are moving up to engage here. I'm bringing some of my archers up, and we're going to just try and duel over here. Now Admiral knows that we have a 5 archer disadvantage, so he's going to try and use some of his Cretans here in loose formation. He's just going to try and catch some of these guys out. Odin's made a little bit of a mistake here. His cab's a little bit far behind, and Admiral's going to come in here. He's going to be able to force these guys back. They're still under fire. He's probably going to be able to collect a couple of kills and going to quickly get out. And this is just going to help us turn just some of these little battles into our favour, get a few kills, and just try and even their numbers out. Again, we don't actually have to win, we just have to neutralise their archers, because if we neutralise their archers enough... Here's another nice little move by Admiral. He does a quick turnaround before Odin thinks he will, and he's going to collect a few more. Odin comes back to get some more, but this is good because it's destroying one of these archers and we're not taking any losses of our own, which is really good. But we still have to be very careful because they do have an archer advantage, and if they win the archer duel decisively, we're going to be in deep trouble because we're not going to be able to defend indefinitely against the archer for Germania. Now, also another thing to point out here is you can see that Cormac and Conan have formed up together with their very deep formations. This is a good setup because for 2 reasons. With deep formations like this, it can be very hard for Germania with their berserkers to penetrate the lot. If they go through the front, they'll push through maybe first layer, second layer, but they'll take a lot of peeler in the process if they don't do it carefully, and these highly condensed layers at the back will still be alive and Germania will run out of momentum. So that is why in this fight I was saying to Tut, when you attack, go for Odin's infantry along here because they're in a narrower and easier formation to crack. Leave me to fight my way through this with the Spartans because I believe I can, or can at least hold it down for a long time. Because otherwise, if Tut tries going through here, he very well could cause a pretty big chain rout in several places, but it would probably lose momentum and these guys would not all rout. And I'm pretty sure that's what Conan and Cormac are trying to achieve here. This battle also works to our edge in a certain in a certain extent because the Brotherhood members are defensive players. Usually they hold together like this, as you can see they're playing it now. So we're not too worried about a mass cav strike on Germania, which is always a good way to take Germania out because they've got no armour. But the Brotherhood members, well, not all of them per se, but most of them play more of a defensive type battle, which is going to be good for us because it means we don't have to worry too drastically about that. Now they do have a cavalry advantage obviously, and they have the missile advantage, but infantry wise we have the edge for the most part. Having said that though, if we stuff up our charge of Germania it'll all mean nothing. At this stage though, because of some nice cavalry action by Admiral DB over here, we're probably winning the arch duel with Odin out here, and I'm also dueling with Odin, and I think these are both Odin through here in the middle with some of my Cretans here. And as I said, I'm still keeping tactical reserves though later on, and as you can see I'm doing a little bit here as well. But they've still got a lot of archers here. Now this is where something interesting happens. It was a bit fortunate for us. Cormac makes a mistake in his deployment with all these guys. He brings them up but he does not spread them, so they become very clumped, and they'll get a lot worse than this in a minute, and this really works into our favour to neutralise the numerical archer superiority they have, because as you can see we've still lost quite a fair number of men, to be honest. Admiral's lost probably in the vicinity of half, of, if not more, of his archers. Odin's lost pretty much the same out here, but the point being that they can actually afford those losses more readily than we can. And we were that was a wee bit worrying at first because, as I said, we don't have to win the archer duel, we just have to do enough to either drain their missile supply or thin their archers out enough that there's not really enough of them left to be too much of a worry. But because they have 5 more archers than us, that is quite a substantial edge, so we do have to be reasonably careful in how we do that, and we don't want to end up losing too many archers and them having too many left, or having enough ammo left. So Admiral's still continuing to use one of his companions to get at these guys. Here's a nice little move here. He manages to draw off several of Odin's cav so that Tut can make a little move and try and get some more, but it looks as if Cormac's going to support. But in a moment, as I said, we get lucky here. As you can see what Cormac's doing here with his archers. They get clustered, and condensed all in together instead of properly spread out like ours are out here. So what happens is, when we get into a proper missile duel with Cormac when he moves up, every single arrow hits somebody because they're so clustered. So you need to watch that, and that in the turn nullifies the fact that they have 5 extra archers. And that's basically it. Like if he'd done what we've done here and spread out a lot more and used the infantry for cover and stuff, it would have been a lot harder for us to neutralise their archers, because as I said they have a 5 men advantage in the archer duel. But he hasn't done that just yet, but you're going to see him do that in a moment. At the moment I've been dueling here with some of Conan's men as well, and it's going pretty well. I think Conan was smart here though. He put his archers in amongst the infantry. It's a good move because these guys, Urban's, lots of armour, big shields, and at least a good portion of the arrows will, even if I'm targeting the archers, will still hit some of these infantry units and shield them somewhat, which is what I've been doing here. As you can see, I've been using my Spartans to cover me because I can do the same thing. So it's always a good idea for your infantry to work as a bit of a cover. So at the moment, if you guys want to skip ahead, because the archer duel still goes on for probably at least half the battle, if not more of it. If you guys want to go ahead, that's fine, because archer duels can be a little bit boring to watch, and I don't mind this though, because like I don't like long archer duels like repetitively in games. It becomes kind of irritating and lots of skirmishing. But I like it in 31k because it only happens every now and again, and it's a nice change of pace. Whereas in like CWB games, it was too constant and it got boring. Anyway, we see Cormac make a bit of a cab move here, try and catch some of these guys, and this is a bit dangerous because we cannot afford to lose our archers too prematurely. Looks like one of the Cretans is going to rout, but Cormac takes a few cavalry losses, and this is another good thing about this particular battle. They try using their cavalry to try and thin us out a bit, but some good archer fire from us and some counter cavalry actions do chip away at their cavalry numbers, which is going to reduce their cavalry advantage. Now this is what I was talking about momentarily, just moments ago. Cormac, look at his archers, they're all clumped together, so look how tightly packed all these archers are. So every single one of our arrows that hits here is going to hit some one of these archer auxilia, because Cormac has not spread his archers out, which wasn't very wise, because it's just too much of a risk to waste their archer advantage like this, and this really helps us in this fight because he did that. Here we can see that Cormac's using his cavalry to try and get at some of our archers here, but we're going to use our peeler screens, our pike peeler screens to block this, as you can see. I have my ones up there as well. And again, like I said at the start, we'd like to win the archer duel as much as we can, but it's probably not likely we'll actually win it, but we just need to neutralise them. A long protracted archer duel will take a lot of ammunition away from their units, and the more ammunition they lose, the less they can do against the Germans in the late game, which is good. So we only have to neutralise them or do enough damage to thin them out to quite an extent, or get them to waste a whole heap of ammunition, preferably both, and their archers will be more or less ineffective against Germania. So here he tries to make a strike, and I'm going to pull up my peeler screen from my Spartans here to keep us away. But while he's doing this, I allow my reserve units, I believe it was, to fire a few rear shots into Cormac's cavalry. As you can see, some of them, even some of them are down by 7, 8, 9 men. Every little kill on the cav will count later on. It'll be really useful. So at this stage I'm going to start pulling up my reserve line. I've tried holding them back for as long as possible, and because Cormac's made this mistake over here, it's worked out really well, because it means that our archer losses are not as high as they otherwise would be, and theirs are higher than theirs would be. So it's worked out nicely. As you can see, they're still making continuous cav strikes, but they're unable to get through because we're using these Spartans and Royal Pikemen to getting tongue-tied, to screen and shield our archers. So as you can see, the duel continues on. I'm going to bring up one of my reserves here and just tie down Odin. Again, they're going to try and get through here, but these peeler screens are, these pike peeler screens are stopping that from happening. And again, that's another advantage we have by taking Macedon and Sparta over Romans, because it gives us the ability to shield our archers more directly from cavalry strikes because of pikes, which is good. Which is why Macedon can be a great little faction to add in addition to Germania and the Spartans, or the Greeks rather, is a very good little combo. People often heavily underestimate Macedon, which you shouldn't. Macedon's got strong pikemen with lots of numbers. Sure, they're outclassed by both Spartans and definitely by Urbans, well, definitely by Spartans and Urbans, but they've got the numbers, and they're extremely vulnerable to peelers, so you have to be real careful with them there. But they can tie down a Roman force for a long time if you do it right. And with the support of Cretan archers and extremely good charging cavalry and the companions, it is a nice rounded faction that can do a lot of things, and it's great in combination with the Greeks and the Germans, because it gives Germania and Greece time to be real aggressive. And that's basically what AdmiralDB is going to go for here. He will tie down forces, and will try looking for a critical weak spot for Germania to go, and then I will be aggressive in other areas to make sure all their infantry are occupied. So the missile duel is continuous. Cormac decides to pull out, but if we look at this group here, Cormac has lost a really large number of archers here. That's a very big number of archers. They decide to pull back their archers, and I think they're trying to bait us inwards. We've lost probably an equivalent number of archers, to be honest, but I think at this time of the fight we had a slight advantage in numbers according to the power meter. And oh, I've got lag. No revenge of lag, no lag. Okay, let's just see. Now here we see Tut moving over here, but I said to Tut, Tut, don't make the attack over here where Cormac and Conan are, because that's too deep. That's too deep. As I said earlier in the video, the impact would be good, but the depth and the amount of peeler he'd probably end up taking is very, very high. The impact would be so much better over here. Although I can understand what Tut's probably trying to avoid. He's probably noticing the cavalry's accumulated over here as well. But he's actually probably better to go with my Spartans as well, because my Spartans can actually be more aggressive than Macedon. Macedon's more of a defensive holding force. whereas I can be aggressive. I'm just... Am I still lagging? It seems to be alright. Sorry about that, guys. I sometimes just get this happen from time to time. Hopefully it won't keep doing that. So yeah, the missile duel's still going good, but these guys have conserved their archers for the later stage of the fight. As you can see, they've still got a pretty good number left, all up, so we have to be pretty careful here, but hopefully we've done enough damage. I think this was a wise move on the BH members team, because they were probably losing that archer duel. They lost a lot of men. I'm sure they did neutralise a lot of our men as well, but if they kept going, it would have played into what we were trying to do by simply absorbing heaps of their ammunition and thinning their numbers. So I think they did the wise move by going back and trying to bait us forward, because if they lost their archers and their cavalry was depleted, they wouldn't have a massive cavalry advantage. It'd still be an advantage, but they'd be at a pretty... I mean, the thing is, they've got better infantry all round, but they've got less of it. And that's the thing. So if we place our units right, we can get it good, but then again the same applies to them. So they were wise to do what they did here. So you can see Admiral starting to move forward. We're going to push forward here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and focus my army sort of in this area here, right next to Admiral, just to support him, because the Romans are very good at killing off Macedon. Macedon just needs to hold and tie it down long enough for the Germans to find the weak spot and crack straight through. That's what we need to do here. I can be aggressive though. I can push in on these Roman infantry. I think I'll just momentarily just edit the video just to see if I can fix that lag. Hold on a moment, guys. Okay guys, sorry about that. Hopefully it won't lag anymore. Hopefully, I hope it won't, but we'll just have to see. So anyway, at this stage we're starting to move in, because we know the Brotherhood want us to do this. Now I think this is where they kind of shifted. Conan shifted his men to face this direction, but Cormac's still facing this direction, which means their forces are not quite as concentrated as they felt they were before, which is going to be good, because it'll mean I can push further with my Spartans. But anyway, as you can see, Tut's going this way, but I was telling Tut, you know, you need to go into Odin here, because Odin's way thinner. His men are in thinner ranks and he's got less infantry here. Because he brought six archers and then 6 cav, he's only got 8 infantry, I think. I think Odin brought 8 infantry, so that makes him vulnerable very much to a berserker rush with some good cav strikes following up. So I said, you know, this is where you want to go, because he's got less men, and his formation is not as deep either. Looks like Cormac is moving around here to continue this, so that worked out well. So we're going to push up here. As you can see, we're going up now, and I'm bringing my archers up, and I'll do a little bit more shooting at these enemy archers just to busy them up, tie them down. But for the remainder of this fight, I'm going to try and use my archers to flame Odin's infantry, so that when the berserkers come in, their morale will just be that little bit lower, and it'll help their rout go along. That's hopefully what I'll go for. Now I think they're using fire arrows here, perhaps trying to lower our morale a bit, but I think it's probably not really that big of a deal. It won't work very well against the Spartans. And hopefully, oh crap, please don't tell me that lag's coming back. Let me just go to double speed here. So yeah, there's still a bit more missile dueling going on. If you want to just skip ahead, guys, you know, feel free to do so. I know it's not super duper exciting watching a big missile duel, but it is a very crucial part of this fight, because as I said, if they have too much missiles left towards the later stage, it will not be good for Tut. And we need to make sure that he has enough men left to not be interrupted too heavily by the missiles. So your Tut's still quite far back, which is fine. This is how you want to use Germania, and this is why Greece is really good, because as you can see, we're able to present a continuous line here, because I can break my army into 2 groups, which works really good. And you can't really do that with any other faction. You could do it with Rome, but it would be less effective. So here we see a couple of double Pila screens here, but they're not going to waste Pila there, so we decide to phalanx rush them. Seeing as they are not using their Pila, we're going to phalanx rush. And I still got the stupid lag. Why does that have to happen? You record like 10 or so games in a row, and on a single drop of lag, and then one game you get lag. It's really annoying. So yeah, we're going to phalanx rush here, although Admiral made a wee bit of a mistake. We should have put his peeler screen into the front of the rush, but never mind. Let me just pause. Hopefully it'll stop. So yeah, I'm going to rush here as well, and I'm going to take my guys out of guard mode because that's how the Spartans want to work, and I'm going to start pushing in really aggressively here. And my peeler screen like routed instantly, which is kind of odd because Spartans don't usually do that. Wow, this lag is really shitty. Hold on, let me just see if I can fix that. Actually, no, I'll just try pausing it again. It's really annoying. I don't know why it's doing that. It's highly irritating. It seems to be alright when I have it paused. So anyway, going to push in here, start going forward here, and I think Tut made a bit of an error here though, because I said to him, you know, when the berserkers go, you got to go with them. You know, you need to go with them because they're going to cause the rout. So he kind of sent men through here, but I was like, Tut, go where your berserkers go, because it's the berserkers that cause the chain rout, and if you've got to support them with mass and numbers and impact, and that's where the Chosen Axeman's armor piercing and warcry comes in good. So you got to go with the berserkers. So we're going to push through here, and the peeler damage is pretty high at this point. Through the centre and over here, my Spartans will easily push this through because that's fine. Here we get a bit of a cav charge by Odin. This is not a good cav charge though, because it's going to go straight to these Spartans and that's just going to kill all his guys. But I think he's trying to kill the berserkers, which is sound, but wasting cav is dangerous. And here he tries a charge, but he's going to snag on a lot of these guys here, so that wasn't a great charge. Like, that was Conan actually. Here Admiral makes a charge, is a little slow on lifting his pikes there, but he's going to get a nice charge now. He didn't communicate it to me, so my pikes were not up, so he loses a little bit of cav there, so that wasn't the best teamwork on that bit. But we get some routes going here. As you can see, 1, 2, the cavs are routing. Over here this guy's starting to rout, and Tut's going around here, and he's using these guys to war cry on the back here as much as he can, because that's lowering morale. But as you can see, as we anticipated, Odin's infantry routes here because he didn't have much of it, and the impact was real heavy on his part of the fight. So that worked out nicely. Over here though, Cormac is outflanking them, but we're taking advantage of the fact that they have not committed enough infantry here. Now this depth is allowing them to hold, but they are steadily just getting munched up bit by bit, and there's still cavalry action here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and use Admiral DB's pikes to hold the flank here and break the left now. So here we see a nice cav charge by Admiral on these guys that are pinned on my Spartans. I've still got this blasted lag. Come on. I don't know what causes it. Like, you go, as I said, periods where there's not a shred of lag at all. I haven't doing anything different, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe if I stay zoomed up, although I like getting close ups to you guys, they look cool. Yeah, I still got more lag. That's really annoying. As you can see, a bit worrying here though. Cormac is starting to push around the flank, but fortunately the centre has been just more or less destroyed, as well as Odin's guys being destroyed. And they've got some great cavalry support coming in from Tut and from Admiral, and it's killing a lot of guys on the left wing. So I'm able to disengage my central force and use this to catch Cormac before he can outflank us. And I'm using my fire arrows to hit the backs of these guys from Cormac to reduce their morale. And then, as you can see, it's a bit of a risky move here because Odin's going to try and get these guys here. So we're going to turn these guys around and get away. We've got to try and get this coordinated and formed up quickly, but at the moment it's working out nicely because we've caught out Odin's and cavalry here with some of these German troops, and we've got pikes all around them, so they're trapped, which is good. And these guys are dishing out a lot of peeler from Cormac for sure, but we've crushed the centre, and I've still got archers left, so I can counter their archers if I need to, although I'm using my archers at the moment to put fire arrows down into the flanks of these units here. There's still some cavalry around though. I was worried about that, but I can't do anything about that. It's my allies' job to protect my archers, which I was telling them to do. At this stage, Odin's cav is still trapped, although Tut does lose his general because he's got some infantry fighting him here, which was my fault. I should have watched that. I was heavily focused on trying to get my pikes down in these parts. But at this stage of the fight, our guys are starting to win, and then we You can see a nice charge here by AdmiralDB, although he kind of hits the front of my pikes. But it's a first cohort, two first cohorts that rout actually, which is excellent. The loss of first cohorts will be punishing to their morale. And I got the stupid lag again, so let me pause. Apologies guys, I don't know why it's doing that, it's just one of those stupid things with fraps I suppose. But if we take stock of the battlefield here, their centre was collapsed. Macedon's got enough men left to hold, and I've got Spartans enough to push and finish off, and there's still cavalry rolling on the field. The cavalry action by AdmiralDB and Tut has been very, very acceptable. It's been very good. But I'm trying to protect my missiles. I'm like, guys, come on, keep my missiles protected here, because just in case they have enough ammunition left to chip away at our flanks, which I don't think they do, but you don't want to run the unnecessary risks. Well, you'd think the lag would actually get better as more units get off the battlefield, but it appears to be getting worse. Anyway, managing to catch out these remainder of these units, and they're starting to break, and I'm getting my numbers down here now on Cormac's remaining men, and they'll steadily just get ground down by these Spartans. This is what the Spartans are best at, you know. They can just, if they're not got nothing to outflank them or anything like that, anything bothering them, they can just chug their way through. Basically, even the best Roman infantry, and I got great cavalry support here. So yeah, this is where I was like, you know, guys, I need you to protect these missile units because I don't want to lose them, just in case. Although we've probably done enough missile damage to them for them to waste a lot of ammunition, and still have a high number of infantry left. I've still got quite a number of Spartans left. Here we see a nice rear charge from Admiral, which finishes off Cormac's infantry here. And another pause for the lag, bloody Nora. And at this stage, it's looking really good for us. We have definitely taken the advantage in this fight. In fact, we've won easily. Well, not easily, but we've won. And this is why I really enjoy this combo. The Greeks work very, very well with the Germans, and Macedon is a great holding force and got some great cavalry and missile support as well, and it's a very good combo for taking on late Rome, and especially it's a good 3v3 combo faction. As you can see, I still have probably half my Spartans, maybe just a little bit under half my Spartans. That's pretty good. So man, that lag's really annoying. I don't know what's going on there. Now I'm just going to go to triple speed, because at this stage in this fight, Conan, where is he? He's chasing down some of these axemen over here, and he was all like, gotta chase them down, he wouldn't stop, and we wanted him to admit because we were worried it was going to die. Fortunately he does admit, and there you go, it's a clear victory. And wow, is there still lag even with the screen? Don't know why that is, but there you go, it was a clear victory. The combo worked really well, the teamwork was very, very good. It's a very, very effective combo. I have 1670, which is good. You want to be getting around 1600 I think with the Greeks in most scenarios. And I still have over half my men left, so that worked nicely. Tut's got just over 1100 and Admiral's got over 1200. Some great cavalry action there from Admiral and Tut got his placement right. He went for the spot with Odin, and we got a nice rout going. As you can see, Conan and Cormac, Odin and Cormac both breaching 1000, Conan not quite, and I still got that blasted lag. I don't know what that's about. Archers did very well. I've got to say the Archer duel was very, very good, because we theoretically should have lost it because we had 5 less archers, but Cretans are better than Archer Auxilia, and Chosen Archer Wall Band are about equal with Archer Auxilia. So I got some pretty high kills with all my Cretans in all honesty, except perhaps this one here. But good high kill count there with my Spartans. I still got lag. What's going on? I don't know what the heck that's about. I guess my computer's just tired today. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was a really good game. Had some great teamwork, good faction combos, and some nice action there. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments, guys, if you like. I love to read comments, love the feedback. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you soon next time.